hopefully my story can help some of you out there and maybe make a positive impact. So I want to take you back to 2009, and we were in the middle of the Great Recession, and obviously a lot of financial issues for people out there. My husband, my son, and I lived in Cincinnati, Ohio, and we weren't wealthy, but we were comfortable. We had a nice house. My husband had a great job. We had retirement and savings, and we saw what was going on around us, but we thought, well, we're pretty set. We're okay. So unfortunately, my husband lost his job, and we thought, okay, that's okay. We'll be fine. I had just graduated with my MBA, obviously couldn't find any work out there. So I had started a company with a good friend and mentor of mine, doing some private consulting, but we weren't making any money off of that, but that was okay. Like I said, my husband was going to find a job. Unfortunately, he's older than I am, and at that time he was in his 60s. And no company wanted to invest in someone of that age because they thought he was too close to retirement. So he wasn't making money. I wasn't making money. We struggled for a year. In 2010, we put our house up for sale. It was heartbreaking, but you know, we thought, okay, we'll get through this. It didn't sell. Finally, it sold in 2011. And we sold it for exactly what we had bought it for 8 years prior. By that time, we'd burned through our savings, we'd burned through our retirement accounts. We were literally buying groceries on our credit card and racking up debt, and we were terrified. My parents opened up their house to us and said, you know, come, move in with us and you'll be okay. But they lived on the West Coast, and to be honest with you, it was humiliating. I was in my 40s, he was in his 60s, and to move across country and move in with my parents was not what we ever thought would happen. So from the sale of the house, we had just enough money, just enough to put all of our belongings on a moving truck, and we went across country. We had sold off one of our 2 cars. We had nothing other than a moving van full of stuff that ended up going into storage. We moved in with my parents, and I cannot express the depression and the humiliation. Our 8-year-old son, we had to pull him out of school from the only house he had ever known, saying goodbye to all of his friends. It was devastating for us and something that we never expected would happen. We got in with my parents, and my dad started taking us back to church, and we found Jesus, and it made such a difference. A couple years passed, and I found Christians in Commerce, and we had a small group of women that were meeting, and we are now WorkLight, and we still meet a lot of the same women, and they gave me inspiration, and they gave me hope. And I brought that back to my husband and my son, and I said, look, it seems so terrible, but look at the blessings. Most people would be out on the street, and my parents opened up their house, and yes, it was hard, but he brought us through it. Fast forward 2020, we finally have rebuilt to the point we have our own house. We're starting to rebuild our savings. Now, I'm the sole source of income in our family. We're not wealthy, but we're comfortable. We're okay. And then the pandemic hit, and we started to feel all of the same panicky feelings. What happens if we lose our house? I took a 25% pay cut, and we, you know, you watch the finances and you go, please, we can't go through this again. But we can. If we have to, we can. We have faith in God that He will pull us through. And instead of focusing on the checkbook and the bank accounts, I look outside. I see the sun blazing. I see flowers in the backyard. I've been able to reconnect with my family. I'm not traveling as often. We spend more time. I actually find I have more time for the Lord, more time to pray, and to really look at the blessings. We have a roof over our heads. We have food on the table. All of that may change tomorrow, and my parents will probably reopen their doors to us if need be. But most of all, we have our faith, and that's really helped, and we don't feel the panic that we did previously. So I was thinking about all of this and kind of pulling these thoughts together, and I found some scripture that I think is so amazingly relevant. And of course, it was the first thing that popped up because the Lord always speaks to us. It's Jeremiah 17, verse 7 and 8. But blessed is the one who trusts in the Lord, whose confidence is in him. They will be like a tree planted by the water that sends out its roots by the stream. It does not fear when heat comes. Its leaves are always green. It has no worries in a year of drought and never fails to bear fruit. And I hope that means as much to you as it does to me. So I will say a lot of what pulled me through this is WorkLight and the ladies that I speak with on a weekly basis. So thank you.